Good morning, students. In the last lecture, I had told you about the new principles and rules which were being implemented in the Pathshalas and what all changes were being brought in the structure of the schools, and how government grants were being given to the schools which were following the European culture kind of education, and those who did not follow, those who were adamant to follow, how they were deprived of the grants. And these Pathshalas who said no to accept that kind of an education were suffering because they were not getting enough money to run their schools. Now let's go a step further and see, did this particular kind of education prevail, or did it have opposition? And if it had opposition, who was opposing and what was that person's point of view? So I put up a heading over here, the agenda for a national education. Now, the people who thought that this particular kind of education was good, now they were super impressed by the kind of literature and kind of sciences and economical exploration what they were getting to see in the form of education. Approached Britishers and told them to open more schools and institutions and universities so that they could enhance their knowledge. But there were certain people who were opposing this particular westernized form of education because they had their own staunch reasons for it. One of them who was opposing was the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. He was very strongly opinionated of this particular issue, that this European kind of education was not good for the Indians. Now, what was his point of view? Let's see in one point by point. He was of the opinion that this kind of education brought down the morale of the Indians. How? Because they, when I taught you about Wood's Dispatch, I said that they told that Indian education did not boost up the morals and values, and when you would pursue a European style of education over here, you would feel inferior to what is being taught because you yourself are an Indian, and their ideology only said that Indians literature did not support any morality or did not bring up any kind of values, inculcate any kind of values in them. So Gandhiji was of the opinion that it built an inferiority complex in the Indians because they were considering the European kind of education to be superior. So that was one very major problem. Now, he was of the opinion that the Indians, those who were taking this kind of education, were captive to the education. Captive means they were actually not understanding what drastic change they're going through, and it was poisoning their minds, the Western education, because it had no connection with your own ground, like your own grounding, whatever you have, whatever culture you've been following, whatever traditions you've been following, whatever customs, whatever ideologies are prevalent in your society, you were going totally opposite to it and against it and learning something different. So he was of the opinion that this kind of education enslaved Indians. It made them their slaves. Not only were Britishers actually having a good hold on us, but still our mentality also they were trying to captivate. Now, when people started learning about this, they lost their self-dignity and respect because they left off whatever was their culture and started adopting something which was not theirs at all. See, if I have to dress up, you say Indian kind of a style of dressing up, I would definitely love a sari or an ethnic kind of a dress to rejoice in a moment of my life. But if at that time, if people used to wear gowns and all and frocks, so it was actually you living some kind of a duplicate life rather than yours original. So he was saying that he was of the opinion that their self-respect also they have lost. because they wanted to become something else, and Britishers did want that only to happen. They wanted to become something else rather than being themselves. So when the national movement started, when the actual freedom for struggle was initiated by Gandhiji, the first thing he told the students of the institutions and the colleges and the universities to quit those institutions and say that we do not need that kind of an education what you are giving us. So herein by showing a non-cooperation movement against that kind of education. So like he was of a strong opinion that instead of English, instead of a foreign language being brought up in the means of instruction in the institutions, he said that the medium of instruction should be the local language only, like I had already used the word vernacular. This local language would help in better learning, and then it would not make the people who are learning a different language a stranger in their own land. He was of the opinion that people are becoming strangers in their own land because they are giving more importance to a foreign language. Now, he was, again, Gandhiji thought that Western education was more of books and books and books. It's all about theory, it's all about ideologies. But when it came to practicality, there was no implementation. That is what Gandhiji thought about the European style of education. Now, he actually stressed upon the fact that if it's not only what in a book we should study, we should also give importance to vocational training. That means in schools it should be taught, a student should be taught how to earn his or her living in case life doesn't be good with them in their bad times. So if when life throws a challenge at you, you know how to take that challenge up. This kind of a training, vocational training, matlab kaam kya kare, to train the people in different varieties of jobs over there, kaise paise kamaye. All this had to be taken care of at the school level only. So he was of the opinion that vocational training is a must, which was happily missing in the Western education. So when all these ideologies came into existence and they became prominent, they became very strong, that became an agenda, like I said over there, agenda, a point of discussion for a national movement of change in the education system. Well, most of us have heard about Shanti Niketan, an abode of peace. Now, this particular institution, or I would say center of learning, was begun by Rabindranath Tagore. Now, there is a story attached to it. Why did he start, or why did he make an institution for himself where children would come and learn? Gandhiji had his own ideologies and Rabindranath Tagore had his own ideologies. Rabindranath Tagore as a child did not like to go to school. Why? School was all about discipline. Like as I said, the Britishers brought in a major change saying a strict timetable will be followed, timing will be followed, like we do right now. Discipline was the ultimate aim of the school, maintaining the discipline. So Rabindranath Tagore was not so comfortable in that kind of an environment where the children used to just go like machines and learn and come. I would relate this statement with today's scenario as well. You just go and learn and come back, and then next day when you come, you forget actually what had happened, what had been taught. So when he used to go to school, he didn't like the idea of learning under discipline, strict discipline, and the children not being allowed to do anything of something practical which would enhance the knowledge, or actually which would make them understand the logic behind it. So when he was growing up, so he decided at that time only he would set up a school, an institution which would promote learning, but not that kind of a claustrophobic kind of an atmosphere. He wanted children to learn by doing. This is the more practical way of doing it. He was of the opinion that instead of feeling that suffocation and oppression of education, it's better you leave the children free and let them understand the value of something, or let them understand the reasoning of something happening on their own. So this was his ideology. He wanted the school to have a free environment and the children to be creative. Each child's capacity had to be understood at that time. So if a child's capacity is not that good, then that person should be given only that much of work, as much as he can handle. So if you cannot, if a child couldn't handle more than that, so that kind of a freedom should have been given to the child. That was his opinion. He promoted the imagination skills of a student. He did not tell you A for apple. If I ask you what's A for, so almost 95% of you will say apple, because you have learned this from your childhood. A for apple. I would say, why not A for ant, A for aeroplane, A for anything at all. So this kind of a creativity he wanted the students to explore by doing things in practicality rather than sticking to one kind of a pattern of education. That curiosity should be there in a child to learn something rather than having a stick in your hand that if you don't learn you would be hit by it. That was what he disliked. Now, there was a difference of opinion between Gandhiji and Gandhiji's ideologies and his ideologies. Now, Gandhiji's ideology was a staunch opposer of Western education. Like, he wanted that machinery, that development. Gandhiji did not like it. So he liked the idea of it. So he was a very big critic of the Western style of education, wherein Tagore did not oppose the Western education. He said, why not bring in the scientific, the better aspects of that particular education and mix and gel in with ours, our art, our science, our culture, and then mix this kind of an education and teach the students. I feel Tagore's approach was a better one, because he was not even opposing the scientific experimental knowledge being implemented in the education. He wanted the children to be technically sound also, not somewhere backward, saying that just because I promote my kind of education, I won't accept the scientific developments, aspect over there. So he wanted a balanced kind of education. The same went on with the society also. Few were of the opinion that the Britishers' kind of education was totally to be scraped off. Few were of the opinion that a balance could be maintained. That actually we were thinking of setting up national education. What kind of educational changes do you want if you wanted to get your country free from the clutches of the British Western style of education? So that's all for this particular chapter. Read thoroughly. At the end of the chapter, there's one case study given. Read that also. And go through your chapter well. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Thank you.